Okay.
Well, good.
We're starting. Ladies, excuse me. We're starting with Marvina and we're recording.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for having me here. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Marvina Brown, and I facilitate the Walk and Talk with Marvina at Parque Omar on every Friday a.m. Maggie, thank you so much for having me here. I truly appreciate you. This has been just an amazing whirlwind for me. I've been in Panama now 9 months. And in 9 months, I've lived in 2 different cities. San Francisco is where I've ended up at and absolutely love it. I spent a lot of time here in El Cangrejo, just walking around and looking at the history and just the city itself. I am in love with Panama, and I hope you guys are loving your time here as well. It has truly, truly been a blessing. But today we are going to talk about Maggie gave me some topics that you guys wanted to hear about, which was detoxing, how to clean your foods naturally, dealing with joint aches and pains, things of that nature. And just to let you guys know that your health is in your hands, not your doctor's hands, not your children's hands, but it's in your hands. What you do every single day, every single moment makes a difference as to how you live vibrantly. So waking up, getting those stretches in versus just popping up and trying to go where you need to go. I remember when I was a little bit younger, I can just get up and go. Well, now I have to get up and sit on the side of the bed. And my bed is a little high, so my feet look just be dangling along. But I'm sitting up on the side of the bed before I get up and go and start moving. But these things are very important to us as we age and age gracefully. So the first thing I want to talk about today is detoxing. The purpose of detoxing, why we should detox in different ways to actually detox. So the purpose of detoxing is really to cleanse your system, whether it is your lymphatic system, your liver, which is the workhorse of the body. Maggie will attest to that. Everything that we eat, do, and breathe has to be filtered through our liver for the most part. And when that's not working properly, there's so many breakdowns in our system, so many breakdowns, and it causes a lot of the ailments that we deal with. A lot of the doctors call it disease. Literally, it's just a dis-ease in our body. Something is going on, is not at ease, and it's starting to affect us in whatever way that looks like. So people can have the same problem, but it affects them in a different way. Their symptoms will come out differently. Just like when they tell us to take certain medications, they'll give us a list of side effects, but those side effects, I might get the drowsiness and sleepiness. Somebody else may get the regurgitation, so you can have the same ailment, but it will manifest in a different way. So when the liver is not functioning properly, the breakdown of the body is going to happen, and it happens very fast for some and very slow for others. So that is the purpose of detoxing. You can detox the whole body, and you can also detox systems. So depending on what system is bothering you the most, you may start off with detoxing the lymphatic system. Lymphatics, when you're dealing with that, they are all over the body. Your carotids here, under your arms, people that deal with cancers of certain issues, they're in your breast, they're under your arms. And a simple tapping process can help with detoxing your lymphatic nodes and your lymphatic system, just by doing simple things like this. Under the armpits, tapping. Under the knees, literally, it's a soft pat because the lymphatic system is right up under the skin. So if you're doing this, you've already bypassed the lymphatic system. But if you're doing this, you're right on top of it. Does that make sense? And these are just simple, that's a very simple way that you can begin to detox your lymphatic system. So when you're looking at detoxing the lungs and the liver, well, especially the liver, you can use simple herbs like dandelion. That's a really good one. And it just helps to break down the toxins that's in the liver to excrete it from the body. Milk thistle is a very good one. Dandelion is a very good herb. You can do these in supplements, and you can also do these in tea. When the liver is overworking itself, the way that happens is we have to look at the processed foods that we eat, the canned foods, because you have the heavy metals, the aluminum. These are the toxins that overwork the lungs, overwork the liver, my mistake, overwork the liver, and you have to find a way to get these out of the body. And detoxing is an amazing way to do so. When we look at our contaminated water, some of the foods we eat, and mercury. Mercury is in certain fishes, not all of them. Typically, your bigger fish. Why? Because they're in the ocean longer. And you know the ecosystem. The small one, the big one eats the small one, the bigger one eats that one, that kind of thing. So everything that's in that small one now goes into the medium one that goes into the bigger one because it's in the system longer. So therefore, you typically have more mercury. When we look at back in the day and we got our fillings, those were mercury-filled fillings in our teeth. And so now they're saying that we should have those removed because that mercury they're realizing is wreaking havoc on the system. And that's another way of having detoxing the lung, removing our mercury fillings. So I won't say simple because most of us, I don't know about you, but I don't really care for the dentist. I go because I have to. And you know, a lot of times I'll be like, y'all need to put me to sleep because you're going to cause me pain and I don't like pain. So, and we take the time to go to the dentist to have these procedures done. And then years later, and that's with any procedure, they realize, well, what we did was best for that moment, but now we understand how it's affecting us and we need to figure out how to do something a little bit better. So we want to think about the foods that we eat, the mercury in our fillings, the processed food, even when it comes to the containers in which our food are in, being as much plastic as we use. A lot of times we don't realize that we'll take it out of the plastic, but we're still touching those plastics. And those microplastics are constantly within our bodies. They're in our cells. Anything that you put on your skin, on your skin, goes in your skin within about 26 seconds. So once it reaches inside the skin, think about it's going into your bloodstream. It's going into the different parts of the body that we really don't want it to be, but they don't tell us that. So when someone steps up and say, hey, think about this, is that, oh, that's your doctor. Yeah. Think about those kind of things as well. The heavy metals, looking at the pesticides and herbicides. Even though we're outside of the states right now, everything has some level of pesticides and herbicides. And we'll talk a little bit more about this when we get into how to clean our foods naturally. And that being when they say things are organic, everything has some level of pesticides on it. The difference is organic has less than the normal, if that makes any kind of sense. So we want to think about how much pesticides, herbicides that we're eating, that we're using even in our home. As we begin to clean our homes, what are we cleaning with? Most of us are used to washing dishes with bleach, you know. Even when you look at the container, it says it should not come in contact with the skin. But I don't know about you. It's been, I can't tell you how many years, more than 30, that I wouldn't put gloves on when I'm washing down my countertops with bleach or putting it in our dishwater. You put it in your washing machine when you're washing your white clothes. And sometimes you put your hand in there to swirl it around, or you got to put more clothes in the machine. That is going on your skin, which is eventually making its way into your skin. So we need to be aware of the things that we do because we're on autopilot when we're cleaning, when we're doing our dishes, when we're cleaning our clothes or whatever. It's just what we've been doing forever and we don't think about it. Well, now I want you guys to think about how you're doing these things and what you're doing to clean your home. Oftentimes we go into the simple thing is using 409 to clean our mirrors and our tables. Now we are inhaling these same chemicals, and that can cause us having respiratory problems. So we want to think about those, be aware of those as well.
So what should we use? Vinegar?
So vinegar is definitely a better choice. Vinegar and water, definitely a better choice. Yes, white vinegar. And it's like 1 to 3 parts. So if you use a half a cup of vinegar, if you're making a big container, half a cup of vinegar, 1.5 cups to 2 cups of water. And put it in a spray bottle, and you can clean your glass tables, your mirrors, your windows, things of that nature naturally.
So it cleans everything.
Oh, glass.
External, and it cleans
Internal. But it's natural. Remember, they will tell you a lot of times, naturalists and holistic people will tell you, if you can't eat it, you probably shouldn't be using it. And that's because of the level of contaminants that may be in it. So back maybe about 10 years ago, there was this big rave about how people are now washing their face and the different mayonnaise and eggs that they're using to moisturize and condition their hair, because it was that thing, if I cannot eat it, why am I putting it on my skin? Because everything that goes on it goes in it. And now I need to figure out what kind of havoc is it causing to my system. Does that make sense?
And the other day I read they're talking about all those moisturizers you're putting on your skin. I'm like, okay, just stop right there. Just don't go too much, the jelly, the petroleum jelly.
Oh, well, then you don't want to.
You know, we use that stuff all the time. No, you do. I grew up with that. You telling me I can put it to get the ashy off?
So, and here's the thing, when they started mass producing petroleum jelly, it was because when they were making their oil, they had this huge amount of excess waste. Now, what do I do with it? How do I make money from it? It is what it is. So I'm sorry if I'm hurting somebody's feelings, but it was excess waste from the oil companies producing the oil that goes into our gas tanks. So again, petroleum jelly. They bleached it for the most part and turned it white and said it is perfect for your skin. So, I mean, I used to use it too, but this is how petroleum jelly came about.
My lips twice a day.
Yes, this is, so I do apologize again if I'm hurting somebody's feelings, but this is how. Yes, so,
I said on my lips twice a day.
But here's the thing, when we think about what's supposed to be good for us, it's all in the marketing. I can market it to you as the healthiest thing out here. Is going to stop you from being ashy. It's going to stop you from being dry. What it's actually doing is stopping your skin from breathing. Right. It's petroleum. It's petroleum. It's going to stop your skin from breathing. And not only that, you do it twice a day because it's actually drying your skin out. Because if it was moisturizing, you wouldn't have to. So I would suggest doing something as simple as mango butter or your shea butter. And shea butter in itself, it has its own sunscreen or sunscreen protection in it. So you don't have to necessarily use sunscreen when you're using shea butter as well. Yes, so we want to think about the pesticides and herbicides, the pesticides that are in a lot of our products as well. When we become aware of them, then we can do something about them. But because we are always, for the most part, in a mindset of this is just what I've been doing, it's what I've been taught to do since a little kid, and this is just who I am and what I do. When we don't know better, we're not expected to do better. But when we know better, we should want to do better, because again, our health is where? In our own hands. We have to be advocates for our own health. So Dr. Duncan is an amazing doctor for us. But yet and still we come to him and we tell him this is what's going on. He can say, this is my plan of action. It is up to you to take his advice and do something with it. He can tell you what to do to make yourself better, but if you don't do it, whose fault is that? Am I right? That's it. Your health is in your hands. When we look at toxins, I want to also look at mold, because Panama is so humid. Maggie was talking earlier about, you know, when we go on vacation, if you close everything up, when you come home, everything is going to be full of mold. And there are certain things that you can do to keep the mold down in your apartments. Simple things like turning on your air conditioner, having a dehumidifier, which is amazing to bring that wetness, that moisture out of the air. Open your windows, get some fresh air flowing in, things like that. Because when mold gets into the home, again, you begin to breathe it. At that point, you are now full, you're filling your lungs with toxins. And that's not good. It becomes to a point where it's hard for you to breathe. It's hard for you to move. And at that, sometimes it can even affect you mentally. So mold is really bad in high humidity places, not just here in Panama, but in high humidity places. So those are some simple things that you can do naturally to reduce the amount of moisture in the air and mold in the home. Let's see here. Looking at the endocrine system, we talked a little bit about this already, and those are your PBAs, your phthalates, and your parabens. When I talked about what's in our petroleum jelly and how it's made, when I talk about the plastic bottles and glasses that we use all the time, as you see here, I'm always drinking out of either stainless steel or glass, because at that point, I reduce the amount of plastics that are going into my body. There are things that are called forever phthalates. It's things, no matter how long it's on the earth, it's just not going to disintegrate. And those have been found in the human body million times what should be there. And those things you can find in, unfortunately, your Tefal, your aluminum cookware, and that's because your coated cookware. And that's because most people don't use the proper tools in their cookware. I don't know about y'all. My husband's gonna be mad when he hear this, but he will take a fork and in my cookware and he's stirring and doing whatever he needs to do. I'm grateful that I no longer use the coated cookware. But as you're doing that, you're now cutting up the bottom of that cookware. And as it's heating up, the toxins that was made from that is now going into your food, and you're doing what? You're eating that food on a regular. So now it's in your system. You have to think about what type of havoc is that putting on your system. So I would suggest something as simple as your cast iron. Now you're getting iron in your system every time you cook and you eat. And most of us are iron deficient, you know, so use something that's going to help with your deficiency as well as give you better health naturally. I would also suggest, you can use clay pots. Those are better, cast iron, clay, and glass. Ceramic is really good cookware as well, when you don't have to worry about the toxins that come from that as much as you would the Tefals and the aluminums and things of that nature. Think about the cookware that you're using. Most of us have or have had the black plastic spoons. Spoons, forks, serving utensils. I would definitely say get rid of that, because most of the time, if you really pay attention, and heavy heat, what is it doing? It's melting. When you're putting it in your skillets, in your pots, you always have that little film, that little extra film of black plastic on there, because that heat is melting it as you're cooking with it. Go if you have it at home, go home and take a look at it. So again, I would suggest wood. Again, stainless steel, the tools that you use in your kitchen to cook with. Wood and stainless steel would definitely be the best. So you want to take your time and just remove plastics if you can, when you can. Your bowls that you store your food in. Think about those kind of things. One thing at a time, because it can all become overwhelming. And you want to make sure that you're still moving in the right direction. So take one item at a time, replace it. A couple of months later, replace something else. And that is the way that you can do your entire house and replacing the unhealthy for the healthy. Yes.
That's very good. I have to go.
Oh, I'm gonna take a pause here because Dr. Duncan has graced us with his presence and we want to give him a few moments to talk with us. So thank you and welcome, Dr. Duncan.
Dr. Duncan.
Are you here? So dark today. Been a great day. I think I just lost the company phone. Hear me better now?
Yes, you're good now.
So somewhere in Panama should be mine. Phones are there. Can't call me on the first.
Phone?
Yeah.
But doctor, you have your phone. That's.
I have my company. I'm gonna take this actually. Thing is, I don't know what you guys were talking before, but I reached a perfect time. What I heard was golden nuggets since I got it. A lot of things I've done, like the pot and then like my wife's always like, why are you doing plastic? I'm like, you should know better. I'm like, I know better. What are you talking about? So, but yeah, and cleaning with it, there are so many things that we do on our daily living that it's been, we're just grown accustomed to it. So we don't know what we're doing to ourselves. And I'll be a doctor, I'll be medicine for 2 decades, more or less. But during the last 5 years, I've focused more on what is like preventive, personalized work with medicine. Because on the faculty, they're gonna show you, this is the disease, this is the pill. You know, this is the chemical. Well, studying, I realized that the medical institutions, hospitals, they all be funded by pharmaceutical companies and insurance companies. It's a big business that is in their best interest to train the best minds into their way of thinking. And that's what we've done. But thank God for the internet because the world is more connected. We know what's going on in other places. And thank God for COVID. Since COVID, something happened, awareness about what we were thinking about. Hey, we are healthy, we're doing this, we're taking our medication, we should be good, right? We're just falling like flies. In a great country like USA, which has excellent technological advance, all the medical services, people were dying. And then you see other places like Africa, Haiti, we as Dr. Ward, we were just betting how many 50% of the population think they're gonna wipe out, 25%, don't be dramatic, 30%. Nothing. And they were like, the big minds would say like, no, what happened that they're just hiding the numbers. They don't have the information necessary. Like, no, when you don't have research, you go back to the roots. You don't have processed foods. You don't have all the technology, all the medication to take care of yourself. If you're not a cold, go to the herbs. When you don't have nothing to do, like nothing to look at that, you go to sleep early. You drink water because you don't have salt. And it's just the way of living that make a difference. And my eyes were open, like, what's going on? Why back then, all this type of cancers, even though we have all the medication, all the medical technology, we're still getting more and more diseases, cancer, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's. We are taught that is normal after a certain age. That's not normal. Don't get me wrong, before there was no Parkinson's, dementia, you are 80, that's not normal. Body shouldn't be acting up like that. We're accustomed of chemicals. And a friend said, we have chemicals in the air, contamination, on the food we eat. I remember when I was in 4th, 5th grade, my female counterparts, they were lab tested just like like me, we're all looking at now, 9, 10-year-old turns breast, what's going on? We cannot wait to inject the eggs, to inject the cattle, we're just hormones galore. The fruits, the grain, we need to grow them fast, we need to spray them with chemicals. And we've been doing that for what, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, 25, 30 plus years in our system, plus the medication. After a certain age, you're supposed to have high blood pressure. So if you go to the doctor, a lot of my patients know that when they come, that white coat syndrome just shows. You are like, oh no, my blood pressure is gonna be high. No, gonna be high. And it's like that. But then you have your blood pressure monitor at home. Doctor, when I take it at home, it's always normal. Oh, it's better than that. I'm like, don't worry. Next time you come to the office, bring your monitor. I'll take it. It's gonna be high. You'll take it with yours, and guess what? It's gonna be high. It's not gonna be normal. So when I see both are the same measurement, I know that it's normal. So when you're at home and it's normal, that's it. Just go home and then check your blood pressure and then send me the reading. It's normal. This is the thing. We've been designed to repair ourselves. Medication is an aid. It's a great aid, but it's not the answer. If you have pain, you have to deal with pain. We take painkillers until we figure out the cause. But unfortunately, a lot of doctors, what they do, oh, you have pain, take this medication. Just as needed. Okay, you have high blood pressure, getting up, instead of spending time with the doctor saying, what's going on? Did you suffer from high blood pressure? Your family members, anyone has? Have you been sleeping okay? Have you been eating? How is your diet? Do you do physical activity? Things of that nature. Oh, high blood pressure. Maybe this is the medication for you. According to your age, your race, this is the medication. One pill for one relation, and that's not the way. Same thing with, if you have blood pressure, your heart is gonna cave eventually. So before that happens, take this heart medication, take this diabetes or cholesterol. It's better to prevent, like preventive medicine has never been prescribed before you get the disease. Is what do I have to do to take care of myself so I don't take medication that, by the way, have nasty side effects on my liver, on my kidney, that are gonna give me other diseases that, no problem, we have medication for that as well. So, and because that is the way we do medicine here, we're accustomed to medicine. But because we don't spend time with the patient to realize like lifestyle changes like this, it's not just what you do, like you said, what you wear, what you put on your skin, all that, not just soak it. We don't test heavy metals, although there are tests for minerals, heavy metals, vitamins, it's not testing for cholesterol. That is great. But if I know what's going on inside, I can fix it in a natural manner. So then I can prevent other things from going on. That's why doctors are going to check the liver. The liver is inflamed, we're going to attack the liver. See, cholesterol is getting high, we're going to give medication for that. Yeah. But what's causing that? What is it? I know that's genetics, our favorite word. That's genetics. It's genetics. You have parents like, no, well, great. Someone in your family has it, so you're going to have it. So instead of what are you eating? What did you eat last summer? Have you gained weight? Are you stress? Stress. Well, it's not related with that. It's not, especially with what's going on. I want to mention it because I'm going to get stressed myself. But just that secretes, gets your body good all back on. Cortisol. I don't know if you've all heard about that. The hormone-related cortisol, internal inflammation galore. If you are inflamed, this and this, they work and then. If this is not good, this cannot be good, and vice versa. It cannot happen. I mean, if you're recording that, I need a recording because that was It was just amazing, and that is, now we are just realizing, we do this all the time. But if we start talking about diet and prevention, then we cannot prescribe, and we have to talk about the harm that our medication does. If we start with the basic lifestyle, and you can see when someone has good numbers, good shape, just by investing in their health. And just become two patients, same age, same blood pressure, one just depend on medication, one on lifestyle. You can just look at them, you know, this is the mother and this is the daughter, and no, we're the same age, I hope. So it is amazing, and not about just the skin, the texture, the firmness of body, the way you conduct, the clarity of your mind. Oh, what you said, like, after 40, everything starts breaking down. After 50, everything's like that because you didn't invest. Yeah. And it's all about taking time to invest, taking time to know. The best investment is knowing, okay, instead of spending time, the 50 minutes that a doctor brings you with their presence, after waiting months to see them, instead of spending those 50 minutes saying, how are your numbers? We're gonna modify your medication. It's like, what are you eating? How are you eating? What is the proportion in your plate? I these vegetables. I rice, I greens, I like whole bunch of vegetables. Like this amount of vegetables, and this amount of rice. I get it. And here in Panama, we have good food, but we don't eat good. We don't eat good. Half of our plate has to be more rice, with arroz, or pasta, or rice and pasta. Or if we have a salad, yes. You have salad, yes. Potato salad. This part of the product, what's going on? And yeah, the green salad is just like, yeah. Yeah, and I'm like, oh, I have this garlic here, looks good. But in half our plate is salad, and we're talking, I'm eating salad, I'm doing exercise, I'm doing everything, I'm just not losing weight.
But that's Duncan, why do they eat? I want this fried chicken and rice for breakfast.
That, again, that's what we're talking. Your highlands, la campañola, you're right, everything's fried. Right, yeah, yes.
Hot dog.
And it's so delicious. But it just accumulates. And if it accumulates in your breast and your blood, it's like, no, it accumulates here. This side, because the liver is right here. So it goes to the liver and it accumulates here. And then this is the thing. We eat so much carbs, and carbs, the intent for carbs in the diet is to break down for energy on a long way. Sugar, there's nothing like a zero sugar diet. We need sugar for energy, for muscle speed, for brain cells, which we can get it directly with the fruits, which is the most beneficial and healthy. But we also have the carbs. If we just think of this plate, if half of it is greens, if we need our greens, fiber, for our digestive system, stimulate that. We need proteins. We need protein. If you are vegan, anyone here is vegan, vegetarian? No? Okay, I guess. In this case, where do you get your proteins? Nuts, your beans, you get your source of protein.
Yeah.
For all of us who eat meat, fish, chicken, like at least 1/4 would be that. And then yes, you can have your rice, and then order of your beans, we have that. And if we opt for physical activity, if we're like, we need to lose weight. We need protein for building blocks. Okay? We need energy. So this is the portion. If we give that leg of energy to our body, and we opt for physical activity, the body's gonna and it's gonna say, this is working me out. just getting this, and I need more of that. Where am I gonna get more energy? I need it. Okay, then when I have accumulated, I guess I'll have to start using it. So then we'll start going. We have to give little to stimulate that, and then work out more, so the body needs that energy. That's how we start losing. Just by living here in front of you. If you do nothing at all, just by existing in this sauna, beautiful place, okay, and you really, you'll lose weight. Because of the Abroad-SWRA, and you're drinking water. You remember that science experiment where we put half a glass of oil and then water, and it separated it, like the more water we take, the easier the body to move. At first, you're gonna start losing a lot of weight because you're dehydrated, losing water. But the more water you drink, you start pushing a real weight. Physical activity, most of us can walk. Like, some of us has issues with their joints, bones, and walking that has impact. It's not that, doctor, I have problem in my joints, you have to lose weight, do more exercise. I have problem in my bones. So I cannot, don't walk, don't push it. Okay, what do I have to do? We still have to do physical activity. If we have a pool, if we have access to a pool, that'll be the best combination. And my patients know that I always stress on that. On the pool, two things happen. Your weight and the impact disappears. So your joints don't have that impact and doesn't have that problem with that. That's one. Second one, you have the resistance of the water. So you're strengthening your core and your muscle. After a certain age, we start losing muscle. And we have to strengthen our muscle. That's why we need protein. Not carbs, carbs need nothing for muscle, but fiber, we need the protein. And the vegetables or the meat, so we need that. And eating healthy, doing exercise, all that work in tandem, but it means nothing unless we rest. If the doctor that spend time with you say, eat healthy and exercise. But if we don't rest, if we are not unconscious during a certain hour, the hormones won't do their job and start repairing. How many of you guys heard the term beauty rest? That is not beauty rest. That is because when you rest on a certain age, the circadian rhythm is after like an hour, 2 hours of when the sun goes down. That sends a signal to the brain to start stimulating some hormones. But they only act, melatonin, serotonin, they only act when we are unconscious. Around like 8 to 3 is our peak. And if you catch that wave, if you're somebody catch that wave, your skin starts repairing. There, that's the term. You repair your skin, your hair cells, nails, but internally, your brain cells. That's why when you can sleep 12 hours, while you matter, from 12 a.m. to 12 p.m., 12 hours, and wake up feeling like trash, like something wrong already. But it's because your brain cells wasn't active. If you rest, you can rest from 9 to 3, that's what, 6 hours? And have a better, and start your day at 3, 4 a.m. and have a better affirmation, a better report than later. Because your skin, heart condition, lungs, liver, you repair when you sleep. And you start losing weight, not when you do exercise, but when you sleep at a decent hour. That's when, if you're in the gym, you want muscle. When you sleep, that's when the muscles start building. If you are losing weight, that's when your body brings on the chemicals and start doing the process. And that last part about cleaning, detoxing chemicals, it is so necessary. That's why I was just in awe when I was listening to all this, those things that we don't know, that we think we are helping ourselves, controlling the one just clogging our pores. And when we sweat, it's when we are cleaning our toxin in a natural fashion, but we are clogged with microbial makeup, all those things, it's just impossible. And we feel like hot inside, we feel like And we're drinking water, but when we are urinating, it's still yellow, it's still fat issues. The body is one. So there are different things you can do. One, know yourself. Get to know yourself. You should find a good doctor that teach like this is what happens when you do this. That's why I say sleep at a certain hour. This is why I say eat this and this and that. Or drink X amount of glasses of water, because when you do that, your body does that. If you don't remember the amount or the exacts of what the doctor said, but you know the logic behind that, you're gonna do it anyway. Before, it was doctor said, it's not. Like in the dark ages, just the priest had the teachings of the kingdom, and you know what the Bible said, and we know what to read. Now we all have the things of the kingdom. We can all read. Thing is that there's so much information out there, and so many ill-intended people that just give information is finding out what is real and what's not.
All right, that's it.
That question, because, most of our ladies have been on menopause. And one of the biggest complaints is not being able to get a good night's sleep or interrupted. Waking, work, maybe sleeping for 3 4 hours and waking up suddenly. So what can we do naturally to help with that?
Yes, yes, definitely. Like the generic answer would be, that's it, melatonin, magnesium, those are mental supplements. And you can tell there is all the preparation before you and like screen time out, nice music, like a warm bath, work out before, like peanut, before taking any supplement. Even the supplements, now they are great. They have a fraction, because they keep it on this bottle for 2 years on a shelf without decomposing. You have to have certain chemicals. But then you measure the benefits versus the risk. And supplements are always, if I find good supplements, I'll champion them because they're good. But better than supplements, there are things that you can do, like preparation, things like a good tea. Yes, computer, cell phone, like teas. They are herbal teas. Over that you can do like preparation. But what I would always recommend that is generic answer. It's all about the individual. Like you said, a lot of menopause and those that could be at hormonal cause. And these things help, but I don't recommend. Go to your doctor, ask, I need a hormonal panel, see what are my levels. And also, I need to see my minerals. Because it could be a vitamin D deficiency. We're like, what does vitamin D have? A lot. The vitamin D is a precursor of melatonin, and so it's the channel there that you could see vitamin D, selenium, magnesium. Because you're taking magnesium, you take zinc, but if your levels are good, it's not the answer. So you have to find out what am I lacking, then what I can compensate. And if everything is fine, then it's something I can do to very wise to.
So you do a hormone panel
Yes.
in your office?
Hormone
and
panel.
mineral?
Mineral, heavy metals.
That's something we all need.
Yeah.
To know where we're at.
Yeah. Yes, and you would think that, wow, yes, it is. Depending on like your skin, melatonin. That. What is it? Let me try to get I can remember correctly. Nice ladies here in front. With half an hour, 30 minutes to 45 minutes of sun exposure. And definitely when I see sun exposure early in the morning or the afternoon, which is not direct, that's enough to have a good vitamin D, like recharge the cells. In our case, that we have darker skin tone from 3 to 6 hours with a big difference of exposure. But not only that, because vitamin D helps with a lot of functions. Amongst them, helping the calcium get into our bones. And we mentioned menopause. Menopause, hormones, when you are reproductive, they are great and protect and help that taking the calcium is at a point. But after those hormones deplete, then that's why after a certain age, you start suffering from osteoporosis, osteopenia, because you're lacking that health. So vitamin E is great for that. So get back up the way. Being here in Panama, because even though we are here in Panama, because the sun is so, we avoid direct sun.
Yes.
So we stay inside, so we're not getting the direct sun. Through the window, we have to have that exposure and have that, so
You know,
you can
so-
have,
One thing we noticed with COVID, the people who did worst were on the ventilators, who died, was very deficient in vitamin D.
Yes.
Very,
Yeah.
I'm talking
Yeah.
critically low.
Critically,
And
yes.
it's like, what?
I remember, yes, I
remember that.
remember
Remember that.
when COVID started. They were saying, stay inside, close the doors, close the windows, close everything.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're in your apartment, coming up, and I was saying like, actually, COVID, it's a virus. And as a virus, you need your defenses to top notch. Vitamin D and the sun, if you wash your clothes. Remember back then, when we wash our clothes and put it on the sun, to dry? You know the difference, you can smell the difference of a clothes that have been drier, and have been dried, direct sun exposure. It purifies, that's the word, purifies. It kills virus and bacteria that ultrate into them. Obviously, everything in excess is bad, but you need it as an exposure to kill the virus. And I will say, you need fresh air, you need sun exposure, they were about to do so.
And that's why they think people in God, because it's better. Yeah.
Way better, and then they could understand
The sun and it's.
until a miraculous vaccine appeared, and then all of a sudden, oh yes, and also put them outside of the sun. Oh, the virus went down when they vaccinated and exposed the patients to the sun. Coincidentally at the same time, but let's say both weren't in, but that's the thing. You need your vitamins, you need your sleep, you need hydration, that's not the thing. It's like having a beautiful house. And then you're putting the trash outside, your people out. But the garbage truck doesn't pass, you continue accumulating that garbage. At the end of 2 weeks, the stench goes inside of your house, although the garbage is outside. The same thing happens to your body, if you're not drinking water, and you're not purifying yourself. You could be beautiful outside, but you're just comfortable inside for hydration. And because in Panama, again, we sweat a lot, we perspire a lot.
This week about hydration.
You drink at least, if you're not doing physical activity, take up like 2 liters a day. Yes. I always say, let's do an experiment for just a week. 2 liters a day. Just for a week.
We have a water challenge right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, after that, you'll feel the difference. I take pictures of yourself, of your skin, blood pressure, like how you feel, take a journey. And then it's amazing just drinking water.
Yeah.
Because we don't have all the research, we have to let our food, when it takes its time to grow. That's why the food tastes different. Organic, we don't have the resources to inject hormones. We have to let them grow. That's why it's different, the food tastes different. So we have the food, we have the air quality, and the salty water of the ocean. We have a stress-less environment here. We have no excuse. No excuse. Just there, we're going. And yes, I mean, just to conclude, personalized medicine is not the future of medicine. It's the only way to have good medicine. It's only. Everything else is a cop-out. It's a remedy. Obviously, medication is necessary. When you need it, it's necessary, but it's not the answer. lifestyle changes and education on it. Lifestyle, how to live, and how what you can practice in your body, that is life changing. And like I said, like to know what's going on inside. We're having a smart clinic. Holistic drips, IV drips that are natural, no chemical, detox, for inflammation, osteoinflammation, derma, immune, multivitamins. But yeah, it's all about knowing, living healthy and enjoying life. But at the end, what is the point of healthy if you're gonna enjoy life? You guys are in took care of whoever you have to take care. Whoever have to work, now it's your time. You have to dedicate your best here.
Thank you so much, Dr. Duncan.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why I'm my phone. Find your phone now.
Yeah.
Because we may have a.
Yeah, but most, you have my personal, I have my personal.
But I do
Find out.
some people that are with menopause, you need to know where you're at. But that's Thank you so much, Dr. Duncan. I think we'll let Marvina finish. Everybody so much.
No problem.
I truly appreciate it.
Malvina, please send me that, because I need to hear more about that.
Yeah.
It's very naturally happening. So people go in there and get eyeballs and then we're talking to you about what to eat, what to do, it's not like medication, that's good, you know, my kind of stuff. So I want to keep the talk to us about how we keep ourselves healthy, and I think that kind of fun, yeah. Oh, you're gonna eat something? Okay. Yeah. And maybe that one too. Thank you. This is like the ball main of the chocolate, and then they have the regular thing. Okay. Ready, Miss Floyd?
Yes.
That's why we're here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And it wasn't told, talk to by George. I didn't have a and then people were like, why did you take them on? You're so glad I got some. Do you know how to put that on my sound? I have no clue. Actually, I'm not big guy. No, that was pain medication. Right out. Oh, okay. Talk about that. I took my doctor. Acid last week. And you trying to. And she said, he did fine. He said, I'll start looking. And I don't know. I just had to begin to talk about it again. And then he tried to, we for the vocal of God. They salute. They need to God. And first place. And Jerry, they got all these. I was. They got all the birds vaccinated. This wonderful guy that translate for us and spoke for us, around. We can do about manana. They don't know. And I can't afford to get one of the
It's still going. Thank you. Oh my God. I was gonna let Marvina finish what she was doing because listen, you guys, I was talking to Dr. Duncan about him coming. I said, we meet every third Thursday. He didn't give me a date. So when she's talking, I'm like, oh my God, please let me give him a few minutes. We did not agree on today, but
it worked. Exactly.
when I was asking somebody else, so I want to do something for you guys about safety. So I'm asking someone to have someone from the police department come and talk to us about how we keep ourselves safe here in Panama and what the procedure is. Because the little bird tells me that, oh, that's being recorded. You know, if you make a report, you don't get your hopes up, kind of thing. Okay? But I want to hear it from one of them.
Right.
Because then I can go back and say, well, but he said, Mr. So-and-so said, that little lady who got punched in the eye the other day. And she's like, President Molino, I need your help. I was dying.
Right.
When she called the president.
Well, she never saw.
Yes, she did. Yes, she
The
did.
guy was caught, he's
Yeah.
already in jail.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know,
It
it's
worked.
it's who you know.
That's it.
She called on the president and the mayor.
That's it. That's it.
All right, let's let Marvina finish and wrap up in case you guys have any questions, okay?
So I'm going to wrap up. If you guys send me a quick text and just say PDF, I'll send you guys my clip notes. So I won't go through
You
all of
wanna
it.
give them your
Yep.
number?
678-769-5772.
That's Atlanta number.
Yes, it is, and it is on WhatsApp. Look. So 1-678-769-5772.
Is it on your card?
Yes, it's on the card. Yep. And just do clip notes. Send me a text and say clip notes. And I will make sure that you guys get my clip notes and all the tips that I have laid out here for you all. A couple of things that I want to get to. And those of you, so when I looked at how many were coming, I had a number of 8. And of course, there's so many more beautiful faces than that. So what I will do, Also, those who do not have it, put water beside it, and I'll make sure that Maggie gets the sample water that I had for everyone else so that you can have yours as well. And how that works is I actually have a unit. You all wanted to know about how to clean your fruits and vegetables naturally. So my unit, what it does is I literally just use the water that you all have, and I just clean tomatoes with this one and grapes with this one. And you can see what kind of came off of it. It could also be passed around if you like. So they literally just with the water that's in your bottles there is what I use. And then you can also, well, one is grapes, one is tomatoes. You can taste them. They're clean. I know you're Nancy.
When I was in Chiriquí, it has contact, where all our fruits and vegetables come from Chiriquí. I was told that indeed they use a lot of pesticide up there. So don't think because you're in Panama, we have so much fruit and vegetable that is clean. It's
Yeah,
not.
they're seen it. You know me.
Anything, they spray.
Yes. You can also taste them and you can just taste how fresh they are without the pesticides and herbicides. Yes, they're clean and that's what came off of them. So you can taste it. They've all been washed and cleaned. You can spread it around. It should be enough as it crisscrosses the table. Yes. But cleaning our fruits and vegetables is very, very important. And again, that's because of the pesticides and the herbicides that are on our fruits and vegetables. Anything that we eat, of course, is going into our system. We have to think about the havoc that these pesticides and herbicides are causing. So some way that you guys can just clean your own food at home is with vinegar and of course with baking soda, but not necessarily together because they'll cross each other out. So for your leafy greens, yeah, for your leafy greens, you can use your baking soda. Your fruits and vegetables, really just vinegar and water. 1 part vinegar, 2 to 3 parts your water. So yeah, that's how you can clean your fruits and vegetables naturally at home. You can also use salt and it'll also help to clean the fruits and vegetables, get rid of bugs and things of that nature. But again, the unit that I use is an enagic unit and it produces something called ionized water. So I hit a button on my unit and it changes the polarity of that water to give me what I need. As I was saying earlier, as far as like cleaning your windows and different things of that nature. So then I use my 4.5 versus vinegar. And I'm able to clean my eyeglasses, my glasses in the house, the windows and things like that. And this is 6.0 comes from the same unit. If you like, you can, it's a really great refresher. You can just spray your skin down with it because it is the natural pH of our own skin. So this is what I use when I'm washing my hair, I'm washing my face, and washing my hands, things of that nature. Because we all know the things that comes out of our pipes are not necessarily the best things for us. So when we're washing our fruits and vegetables and we're rinsing our rices and things of that nature, in the States, I know they use a very high level of chlorine in our pipe system and lye and things of that nature. So are you really cleaning your fruits and vegetables and your food, or are you cleaning the water? Because remember, these things are porous as we eat them, so it takes on whatever we use to clean them with. So it's really cleaning the water from the pipe system versus cleaning your food. So being conscious of that really makes a huge difference. And so remember, you can use things, being conscious, exactly. You can use things like your baking soda and your vinegar to clean your fruits and vegetables, to clean your greens and things of that nature. But I also soak my meats in this same water to get rid of parasites and things of that nature. So those are just a few tips that you can use in cleaning your fruits and vegetables. And again, if you give me a call at 678 or send me a text, 678-769-5772. 678-769-5772. And I will get you guys the PDF or my clip notes. Just put clip notes in. And for those of you who did not get the water, put that in and I will make sure that Maggie gets water for you all. So you can try it at home and just see how well it works. And I would love a quick little video as to you using it and how it works in your home for you. That 11.5 is like the number of water that comes out of the unit. I also use that for allergy issues. When my sinuses sometimes mess up here, and instead of taking sinus medication, I'll drink 4 ounces of that water and it clears me right on up. I don't have to worry about my eyes itching, my skin itching, and I can breathe again freely. That's the 11.5. Yes, but you use 2.5 in your nebulizer because it's going into your lungs. So there's a difference. Yes, I drink that one, not the 2.5. Yes. So it just makes a bunch of different numbers and it does what you needed to do for the reason you needed to do it. Yes. So that's what I do with the water and how to use it. So natural herb and supplements are things like your ginger and turmeric teas, your moringa teas. And these are teas that you can do in big quantities. This way you can make a big pot of it and sip it cold. And this way you always have it on hand and you don't necessarily have to make it just because I need it at this moment. Put it in a pitcher, put it in a refrigerator, and you can use it for sure. Glass. So many different glass containers that they have that fits on the side of your door or just in the refrigerator on the shelf. But turmeric is amazing for joint pain, muscle aches. Turmeric, ginger is great for the gut and relieving that. So people call this, of course, our brain up here. But our gut is truly like that first brain. And the gut has so many different capabilities of healing the body. So when the gut goes bad, other parts of the body go bad. So keeping your gut in good shape with your ginger, your turmeric, your moringa, things of that nature, it definitely does the body good. Then you say milk does the body good. Yeah, the gut, keeping it in great health does the body good. And ginger, turmeric, dandelion tea, those are some really great things that you can use to make sure that you keep your gut in health in a healthy way, as well as cleansing your lungs.
And then eat at home. Stop going out to these restaurants and eating. I work in a restaurant. What goes back there is not healthy, ladies. They pump your food with all kinds of things to make it taste good.
Yes.
Eat at home.
And the oils that they use are just not good for us.
It's bad all around.
But yeah. And even when you ask for things on the side and separate, they don't always do it, you know? So be mindful of that. Where you eat, how you eat, when you eat. That makes a huge difference. When you eat, and as Dr. Duncan said, how much you eat. Typically, when I go out to the restaurant, I always ask for part of your box. Give me a box to go, and I'll cut half of my meal and put it in that box, set it to the side, and take my time and eat the rest. Something that's really, really important when I was on my weight loss journey is I was taught to take a fork full of something, put that fork down, have a small conversation. Because when that fork is constantly in our hand, we are constantly shoving food in our mouth. But when you put it down, you know, you really take the time to chew your food and think about what you're eating. You can savor the flavor. But when it's in your hand, it's, well, I don't know about y'all. How about this? What I would do was this, you know, and in less than 10 minutes, my plate was gone. And now, honestly, it takes me 25 to 30 minutes to finish half of my plate because the other half I already put in a bag to go. And I used to weigh 248 pounds at my highest. And I'm a little short thing, you know, but I was weighing 248 and now I'm down to about 170. Yeah, so
don't eat in front of the television.
Right. Yeah.
Don't be distracted when you're eating.
Yes. Pay attention to what you're eating, when you're eating, how you're eating. Sit at a table. Don't sit on the couch. Don't sit on the edge of the bed. In front of the TV. Yes. Enjoy a meal. Really enjoy a meal.
Right.
So I will again get you guys the clip notes for everything because there were a few topics that I did not get a chance to cover. But I thank you all so much again for having me. I'd love to come back whenever you guys need someone to speak on health. And I'll be here for you, okay? Thank you. Yes. Thank you.
Oh, that was lovely. Oh, I need a picture. You know, I need a picture.
Oh, sure.
For me, I lost 42 pounds on this.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
After menopause, it was like There was nothing else. I had to try. And then it just came right off.
I have a problem with that. Right.
Wait a minute. It's on the video.
Right.
A good question. Where do you buy your
What do I buy?
your herbs here?
Oh, there are at Econ. That was interesting. That's a good question. So you were asking, where do I buy my herbs? I buy them at Extra, at Econo. Extra they have a stand, a big stand, like most extras is over by the frozen section, but there's a stand and they have herbs. You just need your Google translator to figure out what it is. And then Econo has them, I get them from there, and then there's a pharmacy, I can't think of the name of it, but I will get it and send it to Maggie. Yeah, send me a text, say pharmacy.
Right on the corner. Yeah, they sell.
Yeah, they sell them there as well, yep.
And oils.
So yes, you can grab herbs there. Econo, yes, it's a grocery
I've
store.
never heard
Econo.
of them.
It's probably because it's just a little corner store, it's right on the corner. Yeah.
Thank you.
So, you have any questions or anything you'd like to know?
Actually, a lot of your things I already started.